Now it's time to press buttons and talk with Manky and ProZD.
But maybe you can't technically prove. If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 a.m., correct? And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around, I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. Do you really think it's that perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself.
Like I said, I'm just trolling.
Detective Gumshoe.
Sir, yes, sir. I will wring his neck. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. BRB. AFK.
Away from...
Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. The guys down at the criminal affairs said that they saw him at around 2 a.m.
You see? All the evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Let's look at our time-based evidence pieces.
Just because he mentioned a time doesn't mean... you came back to the office around 2 a.m., correct? It was then that you had an unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit, but at that time I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around.
I mean, I'm sure it's related. Go look at it real quick.
Let's see. So this, which one was when
it was like when it was open, right? Wasn't it like her testimony? It might be in her character thing.
Oh, let me see.
Oh wait, the body was found at 2:05. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, switch the can you switch the characters?
Oh wait, no, profiles aren't in this one.
Oh, then press it then. Press the time thing.
Okay.
Hold it! You are correct. It was around 2 a.m. Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time. I remember checking my watch then and made no mistake. It was 2. Ooh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2.
Okay.
Okay.
It was then that you had an unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit.
I guess press.
Wasn't, if the body was found like right... Oh yeah, I guess...
It is as you say. However... Yes, however, you are the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. Wow! So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see. Objection! Oh, come now, I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here. Oh well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit.
Okay, but at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs.
Hold it.
Were you?
So you paid the criminal affairs department a visit?
Yeah, why'd you go there?
Yup, right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct.
Okay.
Okay, that's probably fine.
Alright.
Hold on, go on that. Keep going.
Oh, wait.
Keep going.
This is the end of the...
Oh, it's the end, okay. It may seem perfect at first glance, but I know there's a hole. Okay, try pressing the last one, maybe that's what... Because it says press a little.
You've
and
pressed everything else.
And then if that's not it, we'll figure it out.
You already told us.
Hold it! Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony. And it was just as I said, right?
Yes, sir. A number of detectives said that they saw you at around that time.
You're really sad, huh? See, I have the perfect alibi.
I really want you to go to jail.
That's the ace I had up my sleeve.
I'm really tired. It's 4 in the morning. I'm just
man, we'll sick of
this. You're so obviously
impossible. He actually, what does that say? Does have the perfect alibi.
Oh yeah, it does.
Thank you, Flowers. What's wrong? Why the sudden sullen look on your face?
Can't you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think we've reached the end of the line and it's time to get off this crazy train. You there!
Sir!
Please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle.
Because... Maggie! Detective Gumshoe! Why am I being arrested?
This is stupid.
I'm one of the least likely.
Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn the situation around. If I only had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on his alibi? Time for some logic shit.
Logic.
I need to calmly think this through one more time, and with logic! It's all connected.
Logic powers, activate.
Okay.
So
It could not have been Portsman. Who could it have been? Okay.
Okay.
Culprit rearranged my files twice, once born and once after the murder. Why? Okay.
And another handgun. Okay, so
other than the
there's
victim's
another.
gun, I found that could there be another gun in
There's
play.
another person involved.
I think it's that.
Oh wait, whoever fired this shot is a different person.
Right.
So there's somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Those are connected. Because there's another detective, or another prosecutor, or something.
There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life. And one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, meaning that it is entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. But seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight.
You're really popular tonight.
Usually it's just right. Yeah,
So another visitor, files in disarray. And bada boom, connect.
Which is pretty wild. Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight.
Jesus fucking Christ.
That would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice. We know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder. So it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it. And once again after the murder by our second culprit, who was the owner of the second gun. If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back. Objection! Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case. Great, so you finally come to your senses.
Mr. Edgeworth! Sir, what are you saying?
This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief.
Thief? But sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts?
Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office tonight.
Jesus. What do you mean 2?
Actually, yes, thinking about it, that's kind of fucked up.
It's pretty fucked up.
It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were 2 guns.
Is the third guy gonna come in and shoot us all?
He's like, I will come back later.
I'm interrupting something.
Mr. Portsman tricked Ms. Bird and gained entry into my office. Objection! Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know. If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Yeah. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time.
So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right?
Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith?
But why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir? It's the wrong room.
He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office would be my guess.
Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right?
And he must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out.
Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do.
But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there.
Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him. And then...
Then what?
What do you think? He killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing.
Mr. Portsman.
Tisku.
Gold medal for #1 murderer?
This was the moment in which the first shot was, they look at it and it goes, actually it is! He's guilty!
That's the final evidence that we prove.
The first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind.
You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that?
Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets fucking crazy. There was another?
It's already pretty fucking crazy. Also, I'm kind of siding with him again now.
Yeah.
Visitors, sir?
Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me.
Jeez.
Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize.
The stolen zero file, right, sir?
Correct. Only, just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared.
Save the day.
The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter.
So the shelves getting messed up twice and the 2 bullets. It was all because 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times.
Another guy's like, oh, I'll leave you guys to it.
Yeah.
What the hell?
No, just come in and
Just take something.
knock my shit around. Why not?
Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and was not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant, because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit. Objection!
Whoa. What's so funny, pal? Like, tell me. Let me in on the joke.
Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything.
Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth after all. He's perfect.
But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. What?
What?
Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right,
Not a very big if. It's pretty plausible.
it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you,
Not really.
irrelevant.
It's really not.
Really not really
scrutiny.
much at all.
Actually, no scrutiny.
But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor.
Also, there was a third guy. Oh my god. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir.
But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point.
Don't say that, sir.
I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must.
You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct.
It is.
Oh my god, we're still going.
Yeah, we're doing another one.
Okay. Well, but this is the big music.
The big music's out.
That
so
thief you ran
definitely-
into should be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby.
Nobody suspects.
I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at criminal affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left.
It's Winston Payne who walks in with a gun.
Oh shit!
Oh man.
So you think we should be out there looking for the thief?
Do you guys have like a zero file I'm looking for? I want to shoot somebody.
Of course. Now isn't the time to be wasting time on dead-end discussions. I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I'm innocent. I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. Again, that flower blocking that text for me.
It's problematic flower. Okay.
That thief you ran into should be a real suspect, wouldn't you say?
We should be out there looking for the thief. Might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but I was training in my room. When Jim came to deliver, I was down at criminal affairs already.
Press that.
Okay.
Hold it! I can't expect you to know, can I? I can't expect you to know, can I? Nope. But I guess you can expect me to take a guess based on logical deductions. Oh, then let's see you deduce. Jim waited for me to leave and then stole the master key. For the purpose of sneaking into your room, of course. And that's when Miss Bird caught him red-handed, and the murder occurred. It's all exactly as I had laid out earlier. I know he's lying. I know he was here to the bowl. It's probably something that he knows, but there's no way he should know because he.
Oh yeah, we should be out there. I hate to repeat myself, but he was training in his room.
Like, it's probably the last thing. Go. I can't be expected to know what happened around out here after I left. So he's saying that. Okay, let's take a look.
Found it in the door. What did this say? Just that you're out. Brought the 3 pieces of evidence.
Okay.
Like we talked about on the phone, but it looks like you're out.
Okay.
Miss Bird says she unlocked this door, but her prints were not found on the doorknob.
Okay.
Wait, pages pertaining to a case, but the predecessor is oh yeah, so some of the shit's missing.
Okay.
Secret safe.
Okay.
Prints were wiped. All right. Bullet went clean through. The body was found at 2 a.m. Issued to the victim and believed to be the murder weapon. Only 1 shot fired.
Okay.
And a badge.
I'll only press some shit. Maybe we'll stumble upon.
Maybe next time we'll do it.
All right.
So we're here anyway. We got this whole big fight ahead of us.
Sure.